For generations, the 11th of June has been a sacred date on Mumbai's calendar, marking the arrival of the southwest monsoon. But tonight, that rhythm is completely broken. A grueling combination of intense humidity and relentless heat waves has forced thousands of families across Mumbai out of their homes just to spend the night sleeping on public beaches in a desperate bid to catch a breath of cool air. This is not an isolated summer extension. This is an unfolding environmental crisis stretching all the way down the west coast to Goa, driven by a stalled monsoon system that has left the entire country sweating, anxious, and deeply water deficient. The immediate ground realities are incredibly stark. India has recorded a massive 38% overall rainfall deficit since the start of the month, with central and western regions bearing the worst of the dry spell as rains plunge by a staggering 62%. In Mumbai, the water reserves feeding the financial capital have hit an absolute emergency threshold, dropping down to just 10.7% of their total capacity. In response, the civic body has imposed an immediate 10% water cut for all residential neighborhoods, while commercial hubs and local factories are grappling with a steep 20% supply slash. To make matters worse, an overburdened electrical grid has triggered frequent power outages, rendering air conditioners useless and turning apartments into veritable ovens. Down in Goa, the picture is equally distressing. Entire sub-districts are suffering through rolling power cuts, lasting 5 to 6 hours daily, as record-high summer temperatures force unprecedented emergency load management across the grid. Farmers are staring at empty skies, watching their traditional paddy sowing windows rapidly vanish. The state's remaining drinking water supplies are now projected to last barely a single month. The Indian Met Department has delivered a sobering forecast, clarifying that any meaningful or strong monsoon revival will only develop after the 25th of June. So what exactly is holding back the life-giving clouds? Well, meteorologists point to a formidable global culprit. A developing El Nino system is actively suppressing tropical rainfall over the subcontinent. Simultaneously, dry continental winds are acting as a physical block, pushing monsoon clouds away from the coastline before they can move inland. The critical moisture flow from the Arabian Sea has turned incredibly weak, and the Indian Ocean is offering virtually no atmospheric support. This is not the first time India has faced such setbacks. In 2023, the country saw its driest month of August in over a century. A strong El Nino caused a 14% rainfall deficit in 2015. Similar problems of delayed arrival and below normal rainfall were recorded in 2014, 2009 and 2002. The big questions that we are asking: why has the monsoon remained weak even after its normal arrival date in many parts of the country? What immediate steps can Mumbai and Goa take to manage water and power supply during this dry period? How much of the current deficit can be blamed on El Nino, and how much on other weather factors? We have H.S. Sancheti, Chief Town Planner, now joining us. We have Vibhu Bateja, Center for Climate Modeling, Terry joining us. Thank you, both of you gentlemen, for taking time out to be with us. I'm going to ask H.S. Sancheti, going forward, we'll have to keep factoring in all these years because these dry monsoons, weak monsoons are not going anywhere. It's here to stay. So it's only that we as people, we as town planners, we as authorities, and we as common people be ready for it, because there is no guarantee that this won't happen again the next year.
So you are very much right that El Nino and the climatic changes have changed the formation of the rains in India. Actually, if we see, nature is not in our hand. Climatic changes are not in our hand. But in our hand, the management of water, the availability of water, how to use the available water. And you know, India is facing problems. And if you see the urbanization, 31% of the population of India is living in the urban centers. There are about 7,000 towns total. Means out of these 4,000 are the statutory towns in India. So every tiny town, if you see, they are facing problems. The availability of water, the use of water is 10 to 15% in the urban areas, whereas 80 to 85% is in the rural area. So mostly, I don't say that the rural areas are not facing problem. The urban areas are also facing problem. Rural areas are also facing problem. The problem which always relates, we are totally depend on rains, and climatic changes are not in our hands. So, as far as possible, the authorities or the concerned government should stress over the management of the available water. Means, if you see the available water, the over extraction, climatic changes, and management. The three are the factors where right now we need a proper management of available water in India. And if we see the real example in Rajasthan is a whole rice state, if you see. Then there is a great change because of the Rajasthan Canal and there is a 4 dam constructed over the Chambal Dam, Gandhi Sagar, Rana Pratap Sagar, and Jawar Sagar, and the Kota Barrage. So these tapping of water on Chambal River has totally changed the scenario of Rajasthan. So why not we should stress over the groundwater, availability of groundwater, tapping the groundwater and surface water, so that that can be used properly for the use of urban centers and the rural areas.
Vibhu Bateja, that the question that everybody is there on everybody's mind is what happened to the monsoon this time around? It arrived on time, but has suddenly gone weak. What exactly is going on over here?
I mean, the main cause over here, as you were saying, is El Nino. El Nino happens every 2 to 7 years, and it mostly occurs because of the shift of trade winds. Typically, these trade winds move from the east to west, like from around Australia to around to India. But these trade winds have shifted, and they are going more towards the South American coast, and which is causing a drought overall in India. El Nino is something that it's not like it's happening the first time. It has happened a lot of times in the past, but this time the factors are not really in our favor. The Indian Ocean dipole, the difference between the temperature between the Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal, it is also neutral. So typically, if it's high, it can help offset the El Nino. But the forecasts are saying that it could rise more towards the July August period, and it could help offset the El Nino a little bit. And we are expecting the El Nino to be more severe this year, a super El Nino to be occurring.
Okay, so in that situation, it's going to happen every 2 to 7 years as far as El Nino is concerned. I want to ask an additional question to you, Vibhu Bateja. This time around, is it only a matter of El Nino, or are there other climatic factors also playing a part?
I mean, overall, the global warming is also affecting the whole scenario. The Earth is getting warmer, and we are moving towards a more how do I say drier climate conditions, and we are expecting the rainfall to reduce a lot over the period of next 30 to 40 years. So global warming, El Nino, all of these things combined is causing a havoc around.
Okay, fair enough. HS Sancheti, can you tell us in terms of the practical steps, what does the city of Mumbai and Goa need to do in a situation like this?
Yes, you are right. Every town is facing problem, and particularly Bombay and Goa is facing a lot of problems because of the lot of urbanization, lot of increase in the population of the towns. So we are facing problem because of these reasons. Simultaneously, we have not tapped the water resources timely for Bombay and Goa. So we can explore surface water, we can explore groundwater, we can use whatever water is available. Proper management of water is not there. Infrastructure, if you see the infrastructure of Bombay and Goa is not proper. It has not increased as population has increased of both the town. So very much important is the management. Our management can solve the problem for both the towns.
Uh, and in that sense, Vibhu Bateja, you have a situation that Mumbai and Goa is facing today. That the same situation could be faced by many other cities, going forward. And in that sense, this is a wake-up call for all cities that there is going to be this El Nino that's going to be repetitive, and if not for El Nino, other climatic factors going to ensure that the monsoons don't arrive or don't arrive on time, and if they arrive on time, they don't have the same impact that they are meant to have.
Yeah, definitely that is the case. And as I was saying that global warming it's happening, and currently we are already on the 1.5 degree threshold for the global warming, which is the 245 scenario. And if the greenhouse gas emissions continue to occur at this trend, we could also be seeing a 2.5 degree rise in the global temperature. And overall the gist is that the earth is going to get warmer and drier, and we could see much drastic events like this occurring and affecting the daily livelihood. Not even the delay of monsoon, but more events such as heat waves or dry days, they could be occurring more and more over the next few years.
Mr. Sancheti, which means if it keeps on happening, the water table, the water column is going to keep going down and down, so the groundwater also does not become an option.
Yes, groundwater is the only source for supplying water from government offices and PhD offices and other departments. So, over extractions of groundwater has created a problem. So this is one of the problem. Whereas we have not tapped the surface water, means we have not bothered about the ponds, lakes, and rivers, and wherever available the water. So we are bothered only, we are totally depend on underground water. You see the 50% of the town supply is through underground water. Whereas if you see the scenario, in every time there is a pond, there is a lake, there is a river. So we should try to tap the rainwater through the conservation of the water, and that is very, very important.
Finally, Vibhu Bateja, if I were to ask you, from Terry's perspective, what can be done at a state government level or a central government level, considering we are staring at definitive realities of extreme weather events in the near future?
I mean, on the state government level or the national government level, I could say that we could do some conservation of water, uh, take in more healthy practices, like more sustainable practices, and go more towards adaptation and sustainable infrastructure that could be used, or uh, like suppose green roofing could be used. And we could more go towards green cooling instead of or nature based cooling solutions, because we are pretty sure that these kind of events are going to occur more and more, and the traditional cooling systems, they take a lot of energy and so on. So more towards green solutions and nature based solutions could be adapted.
And that has to be adopted from the common man onwards, isn't it, Sancheti? You can't just wait for the state and central governments to do it.
Yes, of course, it is the main duty of these governments, concerned state governments, or whatever help we can get from the India government. So we should give maximum stress as far as infrastructure is concerned on water supply. And water supply, Generally, we prepare master plans of all the towns first and for the next 20, 25 years. So we first propose the what is the source of water, where from the water we will get, and what is the anticipated population of that particular towns. So first you have to search the source of water, then proper use of water, then management of water, then if you misuse of water in washing the cars and all other clothes and so many other things, so best water which is being used for the other purposes, not for drinking water. So government should prepare, or there are, although there are many policies launched by the state governments and the central government, but practically they are failure. In fact, when we talk about the practical ground on the ground, so execution of the policies, proper execution of the policies, and timely pollution use of and execution of the policies is very important. And government should stress over every state government or Indian government so that proper management of water supply can be made in every town.
Okay. Fair enough. We'll have to leave it at that. Completely out of time on the conversation. H.S. Sancheti, Chief Town Planner, and Vibhu Bateja of Terry. Thank you both of you for taking time out to be this here.